What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Casey, and today, well, I'm down on the computer because I wanted to address a recent upload that Daily Driven Exotics just made with their new H1 Hummers and getting them stuck in some snow. There were a ton of comments on this video about how unsafe the recovery was and all the kinds of things that they were doing wrong. As someone who spends a lot of time off-roading, I wanted to address all of the things that I saw wrong going on in this video, give you guys some tips and advice on how to recover your off-road vehicles safely and efficiently. As always, guys, if you enjoy the content here, you like off-road vlogs, news, reviews, and install guides, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. That would be awesome. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to point out is the winch cable. Guys, before you go out and do any kind of crazy adventures, off-roading fun, whatever it is you're doing, make sure that your gear is inspected, it's working properly, and it's well maintained. If your winch cable isn't spooling in, service your winch. If that came off when you're driving down the street, that could be danger to other cars or other vehicles on your trail. So make sure that your off-road and recovery equipment is maintained and properly stored on your vehicle. So here we have the guys digging their Hummer out of the snow with their hands. Guys, carry a shovel around in your rig. I keep one on the back of my Jeep. I use it all the time. It's great for not just snow, but if you get stuck in the sand or mud or any kind of sticky situation, a shovel is a great thing to have, and it would be a whole lot better than using your hands like they're doing right here. They're using the winch cable there as a tow strap. That is not what winches are designed for, and that is not what a winch cable is designed for. If you're gonna be towing a vehicle with another vehicle, make sure you get a tow strap. Make sure the tow strap is rated for the proper amount of weight that you're gonna be pulling. All right, this is probably the most dangerous thing that you will ever see with any off-road recovery, and one of the biggest things that I wanted to point out in this video. So Damon on his Hummer is using a steel winch line cable, and with the Jeep, they're trying to pull it backwards with that. Now, what they just did was they tried to pull the Jeep out by letting out some slack in the line and giving it a pull. You never want to do that with a steel winch cable, nor do you want to do that with a tow strap. If you're going to be using momentum to pull out another vehicle, you want to get a Kinetic tow strap. That's going to be more elastic, and what it's going to do is it's going to reduce the instant amount of force that is on that strap, and it's going to spread it out and then, like an elastic band, pull back and pull that vehicle out. What happened here is all of a sudden all of the speed hit the winch cable and immediately was applied to it, and the weakest point in that cable snapped. Now they got really lucky here, but that can send shackles flying, winch hooks flying. In the video here, you see that the winch cable lands right on the window of the Hummer. And if that would have had a shackle or a hook attached to it, it could have smashed the window, it could have smashed right through the window. It can hit nearby people that are standing around. So do not ever tow a vehicle with a winch line, especially a steel one, and don't ever try to do a Kinetic pull recovery with a steel line. Make sure you have the proper equipment so that it is safe. The other thing, if you are ever winching with your steel line, make sure that you have some dampers on it. Dampers can be something so simple as a heavy jacket or a bag with some items in it, but basically you want to put that on the winch line so that if this does happen, those dampers are sitting on the winch line and all that energy is going to be pushed down to the ground rather than letting the winch line fly through the air or anything that may be attached to it. So make sure you guys are winching safe and you're towing vehicles safely. And you can see just right here, just where the winch line landed, and this has got a soft top. If that had a whole bunch of momentum and pendulumed into the cab with a hook on the end of it, then that could have done some serious damage or injuries to the drivers or occupants. You can see here the winch hook did go flying. They're lucky. It probably hit the Jeep or the ground and didn't smash into something that could have gone into the cab or hit anybody that was standing around the vehicles. So just remember, guys, winch and safe recoveries. Use the proper equipment. Okay, here they're now backing the Jeep up with its trailer hitch to the trailer hitch on the Hummer. Then they're gonna try and push the Hummer with the Jeep. This is definitely not something you wanna try if you're trying to recover your vehicles. Make sure that you're using proper equipment, tow straps, kinetic recovery ropes, or winches. A lot could go wrong here. If this tow hitch slipped from the other tow hitch while it's pushing the vehicle, that could smash into the side of the other vehicle, causing a whole lot of damage to the Hummer or the Jeep. Who knows what could happen when that force releases and the vehicles slip apart, and you could go sailing off the side of a trail or off of the obstacle that you're on, and you could end up injuring yourself, rolling your vehicle, all kinds of things. Don't ever push a vehicle like this with the two trailer hitches attached together. So right there we could see the front and rear wheels sometimes spinning independently of each other. That is the way that the Hummer's locking differential system works. Unlike a Jeep, where if you don't have your differentials locked, the front and the rear drivetrain will always rotate, but one side of the wheels will spin depending on whether or not it has power or traction. With the Hummer, it works a little bit differently. They will vary the wheels rotating in the front or the back depending on whether or not it has traction, unless you lock the differentials in the front and the rear. And when you do, the front and the rear will act very much like a Jeep does. All four wheels will always spin no matter whether it has traction or not. So we can see here Damon did not lock the front and rear differential, which definitely wasn't helping with his traction situation. Locking all four wheels so they always spin despite whether they have traction makes a huge difference in getting out of situations where your vehicle is stuck. Damon's hands are freezing. Make sure that you're carrying around proper equipment and clothing for the weather that you're wheeling in. I always carry around a toque, a pair of gloves, a change of clothes for if I get too wet or dirty when I'm out on the trail, because you don't want to be getting too cold and just ruining your whole day, and that just is not very much fun. So if you had a pair of winter gloves here, that would probably make a whole lot of difference. Okay, here they're trying to use what it looks like are floor mats from the vehicles that they had with them to put underneath the tires to try to gain some traction. Now, the idea is a common practice, but what you want is the proper equipment. You want some proper traction mats that are usually rigid. They have spikes on the bottom so that they can grip the ground, and then you wedge them underneath your tire, and then you proceed to go in the direction that you want, and they're gonna hook into the ground with their spikes, and you're gonna get traction under your tire and be able to pull out of your obstacle. What you're about to see is these mats are just gonna go flying and do absolutely nothing, and they could fly off and hit somebody, and we don't want that. So here, Damon is just rocking the Hummer back and forth, trying to get it out of being high centered on this snowbank. Once again, you can see that the differentials are not locked because the front and the rear are spinning independently of each other. Some traction mats probably would have made a massive difference and got him out right away, right here. And the other thing, guys, make sure you're airing down their tires. When you air down your tires, they increase the tread surface area that is on the ground. Obviously, more surface area with your tread, the better traction you're gonna have. The great thing about the H1 Hummers is that they have a built-in airing down and airing up system right into the axle and into the wheel. Now, in a previous video, Damon did mention that this system is either disabled or doesn't work with these aftermarket wheels, so he's not able to use it here, but you can still air down manually. And if you have onboard air, a pump, a CO2 tank, or even a gas station not too far away, you can fill that air back up pretty easily. So there you have it. They did eventually get the Hummer out without any external assistance or calling a tow truck or anything like that. If I was there, I would have had that Hummer out a whole lot quicker, and they would have spent a whole lot less time messing around out in the cold and the snow, and could have got on with enjoying their day. So with that said, There was just so many comments on this video. When I saw it, I just had to address it, and I wanted to make a video talking about what I saw in this recent upload from Daily Driven Exotics. There's a whole lot of things they could have done differently and better that would have made the recovery a lot safer and a lot quicker. Just takes a little bit of preparedness and a little bit of knowledge, guys, and you can definitely have a whole lot of fun when you're out there off-roading, and you don't have to spend your whole day getting stuck and trying to figure out how to get out of there. And as well, you're not going to put anybody's safety at risk if you have the right equipment, you maintain it, and you know how to use it. With that said, guys, thanks so much for watching this upload. I do appreciate it. I do have new uploads every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you leave a like, leave any comments or questions down below if there's anything you wanted to discuss that you saw in this video, or any other questions you have about off-road recoveries and gear that I use or how to do things. I'm always happy to answer all of your questions that you leave down in the comments below.